Good morning, everyone. In our previous session, we have discussed about cloud security breaches, risks, and issues with cloud security. And there are some important products which can be significantly contribute to security. So we have mainly three products that help us to get the security, to maintain the security over clouds when we are working with cloud computing. And foremost thing we are having is identity management. Apart from this, we are having detection and forensics and data encryption. So one by one we are going to discuss all the three products. So let's start with identity management in this session. So when we are talking about identity management, what actually identity management is? Basically, we are going to authenticate and authorize our users, whether they are the authorized and authenticated one or not. This is one primary task of identity management. And identity management is a broad administrative area that deals with identifying individuals in a system and controlling the access to the resources in that system by placing restrictions on the established identities of the individual. So identity management is particularly important in a cloud environment, since the cloud is sharing and visualizing, virtualizing physical resources across many internal users. हम बहुत सारे resources हैं, बहुत सारी information है share करवाते हैं बहुत सारे users में cloud में. So उसमें virtualization भी होती है. सो हमें ट्रैक रखना होता है कि क्या उस यूज़र के पास ऑथराइजेशन हैं उस रिसोर्स को यूज़ करने के लिए कि नहीं, क्या वो ऑथेंटिकेटेड यूज़र है या कोई थर्ड मे बी अ हैकर और एनी अदर पर्सन इज accessing the accounts of particular individual who is having the access. So we have to maintain and we have to authenticate all these things when we are working with clouds. So most of the organizations here nowadays accelerating towards the cloud-based environment, as we know, and in they are like transferring their work either on the private or public cloud platforms. But sometimes it is challenging task for all companies to take data safe and secure in the cloud, and there should be proper mechanisms and proper strategies that these two things are most important for cloud management security. And in the current scenario, customer need to tackle each program anywhere, either on premises or in the cloud. Therefore, identity management provides by cloud code solution, or that can be used in an enterprise or across network. So in today's discussion, we are going to discuss some of the advantages, some of the advanced features of cloud identity management in detail. So what actually is the role of identity management in cloud security? As we know, identity management is basically the term that refers to the information or the system being used within the enterprise. So this represents the systematic management of any single identity and provides authentication, privileges, authorization, and role of enterprise boundaries. So the primary purpose is to upgrade security and productivity by decreasing the total cost. Repetitive tasks should be avoided, and system downtime or delays should be also be avoided while we are implementing security mechanisms or other techniques for ensuring the security. And yes, identity management is one of that mechanism that is helping us to do so. So identity management is basically in cloud computing covers all type of users who can work with defined devices under different circumstances. Various identity management services imply that wired and wireless users can support the directory integration. So they are providing the support for both wired and non-wired or wireless. And there are some security services which are providing by identity management, that is access control, password manager, digital identity management, and single sign off. So we are going to discuss all these. So we can say that identity management is basically helps to prevent security breaches and assist companies to meet IT security compliances regulations. So it is just ensuring us that the users are authenticated one and they are having the access for whichever resource they are asking for. So we are having certain benefits of identity management. So we are having certain benefits of identity management. Number one is improved productivity, improved user productivity. So it helps us in increasing the overall productivity. It is completely well known fact that cloud based services are hosted and configured by service providers. So these pose a little or zero hassle either for end user or client. So users don't have to do anything with that. They don't have to invest for the resources either. And if the users are authenticated one, they can have the access and ultimately the productivity will be increased. Moreover, they don't have to face the hustles. They don't get into the mechanisms to prove their identity. We are having the mechanism of identity management. It's just they are authenticating them and get the resource, and rest of their time can be utilized to produce the resources rather than to invest the time in other mechanism of security. So the hustle free identity facilities users will here we will have ease in focusing on their business development and not on the security measures, because we are providing all the security measures by implementing identity management. So as a result, there will be improvement in overall productivity of the organization. So this is how identity management is helping to improve the user productivity and yes, the overall productivity. The next we are having is improved customer and partner services, or we can say it offers a smooth collaboration. So how it is providing us with smooth collaborations, uh, like software as a service is increasingly being designed and utilized as the hub of for connecting with virtual networks of several suppliers. So whosoever is working over cloud, we know that all the customers or the host, they just need to have a good internet connection, and once they are authenticated by the identity management, they can collaborate easily. So the inbuilt collaboration feature is also there. Moreover, uh, we all can also restrict the unauthorized access by using identity management. So no person who is not allowed to get into that group can be the part of that particular group and can have the access for resources or um, the information that is holding for that group. So all the suppliers, they can have their isolated group, the distributors can have their isolated group, or if they want to tie up, they can exchange their authorities, they can share their access. So this way identity management is helping us to provide smooth collaborations with authentications with authorizations. And after knowing the software as a service in is cloud based, it has become easy to establish a new connection between identification and access. So we can have all the authentications to ensure that the users or the team members are the true identified holders or not. So this way identity management is helping us for smooth collaborations over cloud. Then we have reduced help desk cost or improved on demand support. So here, when we have implemented identity management, the problem that results from front protections organization with cloud based solutions, that means we are having expert that are provided all 24/7 support, and they are monitoring whenever it is required. So this way, whenever we are requiring the support from experts, they are available and they can monitor the things, and if anything goes wrong, they can immediately give us the alert. And moreover, um, it is reducing the cost of help desks, as in we don't actually have to employ the additional staff, or we cannot invest for additional infrastructure for providing the support. Rather, by identity management and over cloud computing, the experts can provide you whenever the support is required, and also they can monitor all the mechanism that are being implemented over the cloud. So this way it is helping us in providing on demand overall support. Then we are having uh, reduced IT cost. So when it is ensuring us, the cloud computer ensuring us with all the mechanisms of security, with all the mechanisms of authentication and authorization, so we don't have to embed additional mechanisms for that. So it's just the identity management. Once the user is authenticated and authorized, then we don't have to put additional mechanism for that, and which is ultimately helping us to reduce the IT cost or additional cost to invest for securities. Also, it is helping us for enhanced networking abilities. So how it is helping us with enhanced networking abilities? Like identity management makes it easy in sharing network capabilities with complete grid of end users who are connected with it. For example, if a new program is appended to a network, then this will easily be available for network users who are connected without any single delay. So it is actually providing us a capability, a improved capability of networking, so we can make the connections more genuine, more reliable, and it is actually enhancing networking abilities too, because we don't have to, the users don't have to face the delays with that. Then we are having centralized management systems. Businesses will be able to manage entire services when we are using identity management in cloud computing, and all programs at one place can be managed and maintained uh, with help of cloud based services, because we are able to collaborate with one another, and we can implement all the mechanisms at one place and implement globally. So by these features, it is quite easy and it is possible to centrally maintain all the stuffs, all the authentications, and all the identity management will be done with a single click on single dashboard. We don't have to distribute the scenarios, we don't have to disperse or collaborate with many devices. So when it is up to identity management, we can centrally manage these things. All the procedures, all the authentications can be done from one single system, and all the data related to authentications can be maintained from one single place. So this is how it is helping us in centralizing the things, and it is helping us with centralized management system. Then we are having a few aspects of identity management. So when we are talking about the aspects of identity management, uh, the various aspects are like centrally locate the data, that is establishing a common database or directory is generally the first step to gain control of identity data. So whenever a data is not open to be accessed, so we have to check whether the user is having the access or not, and for that it is required, it is advisable that maintain all the authentication related data over one common database, so that there is no redundancy, there is no duplications there, and moreover there is no confliction in checking whether the user is the genuine one or not. So we have to locate all the required data centrally. Apart from this, integrating is another aspect. Identity management system must effectively integrate with other systems, because we have various configurations of different systems, and yes, over cloud computing, so many devices, so many systems are going to collaborate, going to integrate over one platform. For so our identity management mechanism should be that way that it is easily got integrated with all the devices, all the systems easily, and it must be quite flexible. All right, so the other aspects here can be strengthened authentication. The authentication mechanisms and procedures should be very much strong. As in, if we are talking about passwords, so the password should also be very strong, so that there should not be any hijacking of accounts is possible when we are working with authentication procedures. So, requiring stronger authentication measures, such as we can say fingerprint should be there, handprints can be there, iris verifications we can have, and identity tokens that can be shared, and stronger password parameters. These are the few constraints over which we can strengthen our authentication procedures. So these must be adopted while we are going to implement identity management. So apart from this, the other aspect of identity management is provisioning. When systems are linked to an identity system, provisioning can be automated, such as revoking and granting employees access rights. So, provisioning is actually what? We are granting the access, we are providing the access to whatever the resource has been requested. कोई भी यूजर किसी भी रिसोर्स को अगर रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है तो उसको वो वाला रिसोर्स प्रोवाइड करना, दैट इज द प्रोसीजर ऑफ प्रोविजनिंग. सो जब भी हमें कोई रिसोर्स प्रोवाइड करना है यूज़र को, हमें उसकी आइडेंटिटी ज़रूर चेक करनी चाहिए कि उसके वो एक्चुअली जेन्युइन यूज़र है या नहीं. वन थिंग. द अदर थिंग इज द यूज़र मस्ट हैव द राइट्स टू एक्सेस दैट पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्स. सो हमें ऑथराइजेशंस भी चेक करनी होती हैं. सो जब भी हमें आइडेंटिटी मैनेजमेंट इम्प्लीमेंट करना मैकेनिज्म, वी मस्ट इंश्योर फॉर प्रोविजनिंग एस्पेक्ट्स ऑल्सो, कि जब भी हमें रिसोर्सेज एलोकेट करने हैं तब हमें किन ग्राउंड्स पे ऑथेंटिकेट या ऑथराइज करना है, या किन किस ऑथेंटिकेटेड यूजर को कब प्रोविजन देना है या नहीं देना है. सो ऑल दैट ऑल्सो embed in identity management mechanisms. Apart from this, we are having a single sign-on. That means all system communication with the identity management system, allowing the user to sign on once in an organization. सो आप लोगों ने देखा होगा जैसे हम गूगल अकाउंट्स भी एक्सेस करते हैं, गूगल ईमेल्स लॉग इन करते हैं, तो हमारे पास यूजुअली अलर्ट्स या नोटिफिकेशन आ जाती है अगर हम हमारे सिस्टम से लॉग इन नहीं कर रहे हैं, किसी और सिस्टम से करने की अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं. सो उस केस में अगर हमने सिक्योरिटी मेजर्स लगाए हुए हैं, इट विल आस्क फॉर सम कोड, सम वेरिफिकेशन टू just to authenticate that you are the one who is attempting from another system. सो इस तरह के हम अलर्ट्स लगा सकते हैं. अदरवाइज साइन इन जो हैं, साइन ऑन जो हैं, वो हो सकता है कि हम एक ही सिस्टम से परमिट करें, उसके अलावा कोई और सिस्टम अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर सकता. सो दिस वे ऑल्सो वी कैन authenticate the genuinity of the user, and which is also the aspect of identity management. Apart from this, we have security administration. So administration is reduced due to automation. So when it comes to administration, so administration is what? That you are going to monitor certain things, you are going to log certain things. Log as in you are keeping the tracks of whatsoever the actions are being done, and then you are going to control the access. सो व्हेन वी आर ऑटोमेटिंग द थिंग्स, जब हम चीज़ों को ऑटोमेट कर रहे हैं क्लाउड पे, सो उस केस में एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, स्पेशली द सिक्योरिटी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इट हैम्पर्स. सो ऑटोमेशन कम से कम होनी चाहिए, या जहाँ जहाँ बहुत रिक्वायर्ड है वही होनी चाहिए. हर चीज़ ऑटोमेट होगी तो आपके जो व्हेन वी आर सेइंग हियर इज द प्रोवाइडर्स और द सिक्योरिटी होल्डर्स, सो उनके हाथ से कंट्रोल चला जाता है व्हेन द थिंग्स आर ऑटोमेटेड. सो security administration should be maintained, and things should be automated to a certain limit only. Then we are having analyzing data. So when we are talking about analyzing the data, so it should be centralized data, and centralized data can produce reports more easily. So all the administration, all the logs, all the activities should be recorded at one place. They should be verified or analyzed at one place so that a genuine report can be formulated.
So this way we can also ensure the security measure. So data analysis is also aspect of identity management. So next we are having key features of identity management that we have talked about very initial in the session. So हमारे पास mainly चार features हैं identity management के. The one is password policy. So when we are talking about password policy, the enterprise password policy of an organization that must include several combinations of complexity or length, set up the password expiry or restrictions can also be implemented, and then specify different policies for multiple users can also be established. So जब भी हमें पासवर्ड पॉलिसी सेट करनी है हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, तो हमें इस तरह की पासवर्ड पॉलिसी रखनी चाहिए कि पासवर्ड जो है वो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो और थोड़े बड़े हों. Like 4 figures, 3 figures should not be allowed. It has to be minimum of 8 or 10 figures this way. या रेगुलर टेक्स्ट नहीं यूज करना. इट शुड बी also embedded with special characters or certain strings. So this way we can generate a policy. एंड देन एक पर्टिकुलर पासवर्ड जो है बहुत ज़्यादा ड्यूरेशन के लिए नहीं चलना चाहिए. उसकी कोई ना कोई एक्सपायरी होनी चाहिए. मे बी आफ्टर अ मंथ और 6 months it should be expired and we should reset the password. So this way we can set our password policies. The other factor we are having two-factor authentications. And this, I think we will continue with this topic in our upcoming session for tomorrow's session, because we are running short of time and I need to take the attendance first. So we'll continue with our features of identity management in our next session. All right. So as if now, if anyone is having any kind of doubt, may ask the questions.